Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon, coming at you from Tennessee.
Yes, with the trees in check. Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are joined again today by
Billy Spitfire.
And we are thrilled to death that you are listening to our show, the Guitar Knobs podcast.
That's right.
And Jared, what do we do on this show?
We talk about gear, and we talk about gear a little more after that. And then after that, we do 101s.
Yes,
and
like last week.
We have special
episode.
Guests.
Yeah.
We have, and I wish I could have been there.
I know.
And I'm sorry about that, Tony Bolonsky.
You hurt my feelings.
My
Jared.
favorites, 101s, and my favorites are. Sometimes we have special guests on. We had Lindy Fralin on, which was one of my favorites.
That was a good one.
Always looked up to Lindy.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what we do, man.
He looks up to you, too.
We talked to the movers.
Literally.
Movers and shakers.
Yes. And candlestick makers.
And today, what are we going to do, Todd?
Well, we're going to find out. So our friend Billy here has joined us on the last couple episodes, and we really like having him here. And
he just won't leave the studio.
He's a good bloke. And
he's found a space in the corner.
And he's a gear nut. He appreciates gear. He loves gear. Like, you know, it's just... You can't not like that, and so he's a good fit for the show.
I go home and roll around in it.
I've played with him several times around town, and he actually shared. You played on a song on one of ours for fun. Yeah,
That's right. We
did a little sonic reducer, and I had him come up there. Anyways, so we're going to find out a little bit more about Billy.
No.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, the people deserve to understand.
I want to know more about Billy, too.
Jared wants to know.
I know too much about Billy.
Put all this stuff out on the table now, up front. You know, we can decide whether we go
we're
any
do
further.
That. We also have we're going to talk about, a couple fun things and some, new gear out there and all the whatnots. All right, so let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just go, man. Right?
Don't we have
announcements? We got a couple of announcements,
but don't we have to say thanks to something? Someone? What?
Roll! That's what I was saying, the announcements. Brother. Hey, thank you to Rode Mics for providing our awesome microphones and console. Actually, right before the show, just did a new firmware update. That's right, they're keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh.
I sound especially crisp tonight.
You look especially crisp.
Nice.
So we're going to. I have another. Okay. So this is cool. This is a part that I didn't really expect out of doing the podcast. Is that I knew we were going to talk to some people in the industry, and we'd meet some people, and we'd get some quote unquote friends and stuff. But honestly, some of our supporters have been with us for so long along the way, and sharing in their guitar experience as well.
Yes.
And one guy in particular, Michael Van Zant, also known as a 360 bassist.
Yes.
For the longest time, ever since we had Jeff on, he was at a Pumpkin show in the fourth row, and he's live FaceTiming me. He's like, "Hey, look where I'm at. There's and he was letting me watch the show with him. And I was like, "What?" I mean, I was really taken back by that because I was like, "Wow, you're doing that, but you were thinking "Hey, I should share this with me." That
Tony
made me feel
and I
incredible.
were in the back drinking.
No, this was way before. But at the last one, I know what you guys are really doing. But anyways, so then also, sharing all kinds of other things and everything. So recently he went to go see Starcrawler, which is a band that's been emerging out of L.A. for quite a while. And I believe they're out of L.A. Anyways, so he shared a picture, and he met the guitar player, and he was wearing a Guitar Knob shirt. No, he was wearing a Valentino shirt. Yeah, he's wearing a Valentino shirt, which almost counts as Guitar Knobs. But I was like, man, that's so awesome. You went to our to that show and with our Valentino shirt on, and then here's this other thing. Now this happens with other people too, not just Michael Van Zant. But there's enough we're coalescing, okay? So I was watching Ferris Bueller with my youngest daughter. She was watching it for the first time. Bueller, yes.
Bueller.
And when at one point when he's sitting in his room, and I think this is right about when he was getting ready to play the clarinet, and he says, "Look, after no lessons, or something like that, right?" And I look, and for the first time, I was like, "He's got a white falcon sitting right there." If you look closely, there's a white falcon right behind him, and I had never noticed that before, which I can't believe. So I was blah, 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 just kind of coasting through things, and I saw Michael had posted something that says, "Who knew Ferris Bueller had a white falcon in the background?" Like 2 days before that. So I was just like, man, that's cool. Got a brother from another mother out there thinking about the same things, digging the same things. So I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for doing that. And to all the others that are regularly corresponding with us, we really love it. It's great. It's fun. It's fun. So, yeah, I mean, I was talking to Hex Matos for a ridiculously long time about pedal boards, doop, doop, doop. And my wife's like, "Are you still talking to him?" Yes. Yeah, we were loving it. That's what we do. That's what we do. So anyways, I just thought I'd give a shout out to Michael Van Zandt for doing that, unknowingly sometimes. So anyways, let's find out what's going on in our music world this week, gentlemen. Tanya, why don't you start us off, and then we'll kick it over to Billy.
Sure. Well, as it just so happens, today our good friend John Esterly from Rare Buzzes Effects brought a couple of pedals over to the shop for me to try out. And these are part of his new 70s series.
Yes,
you might have seen those cool graphics. So he brought over a vibe pedal, which is kind of like a univibe, as well as an envelope filter or Ottawa.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a second. I always just call them.
Which is ironic because I stutter a lot on the show, and Tony has never once said anything about it. You're a prince for that, by the way. Stop. Okay, I take your prince hat back. You bozo. Go.
And so I actually, he had brought the prototype for the Vibe pedal over, and we. He added a mix control, which I hate to say it, but I suggested it.
Yeah, that's okay. That's why you guys do that stuff.
But no, and I have to say both of these pedals I would use. I mean, they're both they look really cool for one thing. Mm-hmm. If you go to his Instagram page. You can see some pictures of those. Mm-hmm. But both of them sounded really good. I congratulations on that, John. I think you did a fine job if you're listening.
Yeah.
Also this week, this was really kind of cool, and it doesn't happen frequently, but it did this time.
Oh, we'll have him back on, and he can talk about him.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Because he's getting ready to roll out that whole series.
Yeah.
He's got like 5 or 6, 7 pedals.
That's great.
And each one's a little different color. So I get an email from a guy out in California. And he says, I'm trying to do something with my Rickenbacker 381. I want to add a third pickup. And can you do a special guard that has a cutout for that? And then he goes on to say, I used to work for Semi Mosley and Bill Gruggett. And, and he starts rattling off all of these names of Bakersfield, California.
Sure.
Builders and everything. So
spent a fair amount of time in Bakersfield.
Did you?
Wanted to leave every time I had to spend a little bit of time out in Bakersfield. It was just it was always just so I mean it's super developed now, but before it was not. It was dry as a damn bone.
So he left me, and I knew he was an older guy, obviously, since he was ran in those circles. So he said, well, if you could give me a call back and we could talk about it a little bit. And I said, so I called him back and we had a really nice discussion. His name is Lonnie Hyde. And he was not aware that this Bakersfield guitar book, we talked about this, a bunch of episodes ago, but it's an illustrated history of like Mosrite and Gruggett and a whole bunch of other.
I'll jump in for Jared. Oh yeah.
And And so I told him about this book, and he said, I had no idea. And so I sent him a link from Amazon, and he ordered it, and he shoots me back an email like within a day or two, whenever, because Amazon's pretty quick. And he says, I looked at it, and my name's on page 168, and he was like, you could tell he was just really
cool.
excited. He said, oh yeah, it brought back so many memories, but on the other hand, it made me kind of sad because I'm the last one of this group that's still alive.
Wow. So what did he do?
Well, he worked with Bill Gruggett on a.
You mentioned that, Tony. We're well past that.
Okay.
What?
And he designed a guitar that Bill produced.
Really?
And worked with Bill. They were both very good friends, apparently. And so it was really interesting to kind of actually talk to someone from that generation who was there for what are kind of really sometimes
formative and experimental years.
Yeah, sort of like that.
Okay.
But it's just to be able to talk to someone who was there, and these are not mainstream guitars by any stretch of the imagination, but there are a lot of Mosrite fans.
Sure.
But it was really cool. So I actually sent his order out today.
Right on.
That I hope that he likes.
That's cool. I dig it. Nice story.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Billy.
Well, I in continuance of my Explorer adventures, my '85 Gibson Explorer.
I can't wait to see that in person.
It's now white, and I put an Invader, a Duncan Invader pickup in it. Tested it out last night at mathematics rehearsal, and it sounds amazing.
That's awesome.
We were all shredding because it's just that inspirational.
That's cool.
And what else did I do this week musically? I went to see the Flynns, a local Rolling Stones cover band, on Saturday. 10-piece band, and it's so cool. Those guys
awesome.
have so much fun. It's just fun. The whole crowd was into it.
Sure.
So I was
they're
dancing.
pretty
and,
solid then.
Yeah.
The Flynns.
The Flynns.
What are they called? Why are they called the Flynns?
I don't know. In like Flynn, I don't know. I'll find out.
All right. Yeah. Do your homework
I'll find
there.
out.
Why don't you?
Because
before
I'm
you
going
show
to be
up here?
well. All right.
Maybe one of them's name is Flynn.
I'm gonna be sitting in on bass with them at their next February show.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Playing nothing but Rolling Stones.
I love it. Yeah, we'll go.
Rock and roll.
Tony and I'll go.
Are you going
And
to
if
play?
Jared's in town, he'll
You're
go.
going to play like Bill Wyman.
No.
You stand
Wait.
just like Bill Wyman.
It's like this.
Now I am her biggest fan.
Yeah.
Little Smithereens reference there.
I know.
Yeah. Jared, how about yourself?
So, this past weekend, Mikey Trombley
Yes.
and his lovely
Native
wife
audio.
came down to Nashville. They went to the Peppers concert.
Oh man.
And
I bet that was a
would
good
love
Friday
to
night
see
had a
them
good good
live.
time. The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And is it
that's
original?
with John Frusciante.
Yeah,
That's his-
Frusciante's back in.
That
yeah.
is his idol. Like he flipping
Mikey
worships
was-
the ground that Frusciante strikes.
Yes, he did. He said when he first started listening to them, he was in the band and then he was gone, like the next day. And then now he's back.
Yeah.
And he was so
That guy's
excited to go.
absolutely incredible. Absolutely.
They were. He was so excited about the show. They came down for 3 days and only made plans for one. So the next 2 days, they just spent the days with Heather and I. But during that time, we did some dude time. Went up to the old music room, and we messed with this Neutron thing, and we had fun with it. And he pulled out this pedal called the War Party, which we had him on for.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, man, I really appreciate you letting us stay down here this weekend. And it was really cool that you have this pedal." And I was like, "Oh!" So we plugged it in. And this thing sounds super badass through the Marshall, through the 73 Marshall. Because, I have a couple Marshalls, but no, the JTM, the 100 watter. This thing is it's a fantastic pedal, and
That's what I hear. It's got a
because
really
he gave
wide
it to me
range
though,
gain.
because he was my friend and he gave it to me.
Yeah.
Because we're buddies. That just meant the world. So it's I won't ever look at this pedal as like the function of it, but it's just what Mike gave to me because he's my friend.
Are you going to pop
it
it
was
on?
really special.
You going to pop it on reverb?
Pop it like it's hot.
Probably.
Liar.
Probably not. Probably not.
No, I have every single pedal I've bought from him.
I know.
Yeah.
You do.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I even have a Red House before he changed his name.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a fantastic time. Of course, he was more into my offset fenders that I still have here, but we had a great time. We jammed around a little bit. He's such a great player.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a great time. So that was a big excitement of last week.
That's cool.
Other than that, I changed the strings on my Martin Veterans Edition. Who cares? Sounds better now because it's got new strings.
Always sounds
But
better.
I honestly did that, so I thought I'd mention it.
Holy crap! That reminds me. I got to change mine tomorrow night.
Yes.
See?
What about you,
That-
Todd?
Well,
Yeah.
I had
Tell me about the strings.
I had an awesome night last night because I went and visited Chase. And hung out with him, and we were working on some stuff. And I picked up a couple. I also picked up 2 WGS speakers, warehouse guitar speakers.
Same
Good
kind?
ones.
Well,
Two of a kind? One
I
and
got the Invader,
Invader.
and I got the ET65.
GT65.
Now the Invader is like a sweet, creamy, mid-range kind of speaker.
So like
and
a
the
creamback.
ET65 has more pronounced highs and more pronounced lows. Not pronounced as in bigger, just more like punchy and
So it's a wide
articulated.
range. It's got a wide range
So
of
middle scooped.
I guess you could maybe a little bit middle scooped. It's just the highs and the lows are punchy. Okay.
Both ceramic
Yeah.
speakers.
Both are ceramic speakers, yes. And so I went over to my drummer's house where we were getting ready to get our practice going. We got to show up in Cleveland on Thursday. And he's like, man, let's put these things in here. Now, what there's currently in there, and I'm going to do a little video on this whole thing. What's currently in there is the 7080s. I think that's what they're called, the Celestion 7080s, which is sort of their everything speaker, right? The WGS ones are just so meaty, and I mean, you just look at them, you're like, oh, this. I don't even have to put it in, and I know this is going to sound better. Mm-hmm. Now the trick was though, when we pulled the 7080s off, instead of like a foam cushion, like around the rim, it's like this almost plastic particle like material. I mean, like if you, it sounded like you're clicking a full Coke bottle or something. And I was like, what is this? And actually, it's kind of like the stuff that's made at the nuts, the
Like
graphite Graphtec nuts,
like a gasket on your lawnmower.
but a really hard one. Yeah, not a thin paper one. But and I was like, why is this? That doesn't make sense. To me, at least, in my layman ways. And then you look at the WGS speakers, and it's just like this giant, thick, like super sturdy foam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like not squishy foam, but like pliable. And
Nice.
the only problem is that they're thicker. So I had to go get new nuts or new bolts to put in there because they wouldn't reach all the way on the back. And Marshall, this is in a 212 cabinet that's a 212 Origin cabinet, so it's made specifically for the Origin series. But the nuts with the prongs that go on the backside of the baffle, they were just they're in there ish. So they were falling out and everything. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a hassle because the only other way to do that would be to take off the front fabric, and I do not want to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fortunately, got the right. And if anybody's wondering, if anybody needs to do this, and they are putting in some WGS speakers, you need they come with 22 millimeter metric screws.
M22s.
M22s, and I had to get 25s to make up the distance.
No, then that doesn't.
25 millimeter length.
Oh, you need the length.
Yeah.
But what are the other specs on
It's
the bolts?
M508.
M508.
M508 at 25 millimeters. So if you're going to replace your speakers in the Marshall cabinet for the Origin, that's what you need to do.
And where did you find these screws?
And the other thing is, this was crazy. When we were unhooking everything. Oh, we got them at Lowe's. When we unhooked everything, I mean, I could have like sneezed and the connections would have just fallen off. I could not believe how loose they were. And, you know, the speakers sitting there rattling around and like, you know, so how I can't even believe that held a contact. Seriously, I was really shocked at how shoddy that was.
Huh.
Did you
solder
we
them?
soldered them all.
Nice.
Yeah. And then hooked
So
that
what
thing
you're
up.
saying is you should buy a different cabinet.
Well, no, I mean, we compensated. We put the cab. It's a decent cabinet. I mean,
Okay.
it's, you know.
Okay.
But with these new speakers, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was screaming. Like I was like,
Did you hit the
yes!
big? You hit the big A power chord and just let it ring. Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Nice.
it was incredible. I can believe that it sounded that good because that's why I said I should put these speakers in it. But at the same time, I could not believe how good it sounded.
Yeah.
So huge props to our friends at WGS who's been on the show twice. You can go
Yes.
back and listen to those episodes
Now,
for
did you-
making an incredible product.
Did you contact them for suggestions, or did you just kind of go through and look at specs? and
I
things?
went through specs. I looked at a few things and just kind of like, you know, figured that out.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to hear it.
Dude.
I can't wait to hear it.
Well, and one of the first times that Billy and I were playing one of the same venues, and I was playing. I looked down and Billy's like looking at the amp, and he's got his head pretty close. I'm like, man, what are you doing? And he's looking. He's like, I love your tone. And that was like I think the first time I was like, I love this guy. He's fantastic. He gets it.
Oh, was that before you got the hearing aids?
That is before and yeah, that's when I was running the Supro and stuff. But honestly, I told Matt, I'm like, oh, Billy's gonna crap his pants when he hears this. So, anyways, awesome, super excited about that. All right, so one of the things that we're kind of kicking around this week, you know, anytime any of us see something interesting, we all share it out to each other, of course.
Yes, we do.
And one of those things was from guitar.com, and we saw this really neato article, and it said, Gibson president teases what looks like a new guitar shape. Think Theodore, but different. Theodore was the one they kind of teased out a little bit ago that looks like a tulip type of guitar, and
That's great.
There was a lot of, you know, love and hate about that. This one, however, let's describe this really quick. And if you're looking for what the article is, you can go to Guitar News Gear, guitars.com/news/gear.
Yeah.
And then you'll get there.
So what it is, I mean, it's an offset double cut. It's got an Explorer headstock, and when I first saw it,
And wait, let's be clear. It's not an offset like back belly. It's
the horns are offset.
the horns are offset, but the rest of the body is like a double cut.
Kind of.
Just-
I mean, it's a departure from a Strat shape, but what it really reminds me of is back in the, I guess it would have been the 80s or 90s. They had a Victory line. There was a Victory guitar and a Victory bass, and maybe the horns were a little more exaggerated, but the shape was very similar. But it did not have the Explorer headstock, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, this has got the little banana.
Yeah, the banana
I
headstock.
love that headstock.
Yeah. So it's kind of a cool thing, I guess.
And it's got a vibrato on it too, like a lightweight style vibrato.
It's funny because
it's not a vibrola.
Yeah, I'm
it the
looking at it,
roller
and I wish I could see the whole thing. And that's when you guys pointed this out right before the show. I was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen that yet." Because
Yeah, it's kind of a.
I'm in pickup development, so I don't
Yeah.
It's got
see
zebras in it.
Yeah. So it
every
looks like
single thing that comes down the line.
Yeah, well,
So-
it could be a prototype or whatever. Yeah, the vibrato is kind of it looks similar to, I guess, like a Maestro vibrato. Like a short spring kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
it does.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool.
It has the big like ivory tip, or not ivory, but
Yeah.
like
on a Firebird
Yeah.
or some of the old melody
volume
makers.
knob, tone knob, and pickup switcher. That's it.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Not much. It's
I'll
it's
go
kind
to
of like
work
stripped
tomorrow
down.
and
I was like, that's pure business right there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll go see if I can even see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm interested. Is there a bridge pickup, or is just a pickup right there? Like,
I'm assuming
I
there's
think
a
it's
bridge
hand is-
pickup. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a 2 pickup guitar.
Yeah.
because his hand's covering that whole area.
So who is this? Who do you guys think that this guitar is pointed at right now? Not in the picture.
I think that it probably would be, to me at least, it would be the era of players that had super strats and Charvels and different things like that, because it is it's more Fendery than Gibson, and it certainly reminds me of some of the old Charvel and Jackson creations of the 80s.
Yeah. I can see this being played by like a band that is playing familiar kind of rock, more modern familiar rock. So not like super prog or super metal or anything like that, and something that somebody that
Why
is
couldn't
looking
you
for
play something?
No, you could. But
prog or metal
I
on
think that right now you kind of, unless you're buying a special made boutique style guitar, you're kind of either locked into something that is super shreddy looking or ultra classic looking, and this is kind of like sitting right in the middle there.
21 Pilots.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Gibson owns Kramer, so to me it looks like a Gibson and a Kramer, and of course the guitar is probably
Looks
built
kind of like it's a little Wolfgangy.
Would that be a Cribson?
It's to aspire people to write their own new music with. That's the whole goal. But yeah, it's, to me, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
How about that?
So
Yeah, I agree. That's a flat top, right?
It
looks like a mahogany
there's
flat top.
It might be a forearm
Yeah.
kind of cut back there.
Yeah, it could be.
It looks like to be a slightly thinner body too, like thinner than a Paul. Probably about the same thickness as a
Strat.
special.
Yeah, Strat, maybe.
You really like saying Strat. That doesn't look anything like a Strat to me
Strat.
at all. Not even remotely Stratish. No,
Strat.
It's not Stratty. No.
Why do you hate Strat so much?
So not Stratty. I think this is also aimed at people who are maybe digging PRSs and stuff, who want something that looks a little bit more like kind of lo-fi than a PRS.
Yeah.
So, anyways, pretty cool. So,
All right, Jared, it's on you.
It's on the
Get the
material.
info for the next show.
More to come on that.
Probably
So,
not.
Anyways, let's find out what we have next.
Hey, Jared.
Yes, my good friend Tony Bolonsky.
Now, you mentioned that Mikey was visiting and that you were trying out various guitars and pedals and amps and things.
Yes, we had a good time.
Did you have some way of connecting all of those fun pedals and things together?
Let me think. Yes.
What'd
We
you
used Tour Gear Design patch cables. They were actually spectacular because of the way Mike's pedal is. It's front loading. And
back.
Yes, and the input jacks are very close to the power jack. So it was super easy to plug everything in. There was plenty of room.
That's nice.
And it was great.
And you had plenty of cables, I'm sure.
I had a lot because I bought a lot of these cables in various sizes and lengths, S-shaped and U-shape, just a bunch of different lengths that I got, so I could have any configuration I want.
Now, when you bought these cables, did you go to the website and plug in a special coupon code?
I did, but it's been a while, so you got to remind me.
Well,
what's that code?
It is the guitar knobs, all one word, all lowercase, on your checkout. And you know what you get?
You get a 10% discount.
You save an extra 10% on your entire purchase. So
That's
a guy
right.
like you that buys like $1,000 worth of pedals or of cables,
Sure.
you could save $100 just like that.
Good. I think it was maybe half that, but yeah, I saved $5.
Well, that's nice. Well, I'm glad that you were able to connect pedals together neatly and conveniently.
And succinctly. Yeah.
That's
so,
right.
hey, everybody, go head on over to tourgeardesigns.com, put in the coupon code.
The guitar knobs.
That's right. And you're going to save 10% on your entire order, and they will ship really fast, and you will be happy, happy, happy. Thank you to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor. Jared?
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right. Billy Spitfire. What is your 4 on the floor?
My 4 on the floor presently with my lead guitar setup for Mathematics Punk Band.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to specify because I play different style stuff in different bands. So
Yeah.
But these are my go-to pedals. I've got the the TC Electronics tuner.
What?
Pretty generic.
Boo!
I know.
Boo! No tuner. Boo!
Oh,
Pick
no
something
tuners?
else.
Okay. Forget
Pick
this.
something
Okay,
else.
I'm going to fold that down.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So the first pedal in my chain from the guitar
It
is...
doesn't even have to be in your chain.
It's in my chain.
All right.
It's a Red Threat
Ooh,
by
okay.
the People Factory.
Okay.
I don't know if they are still in existence.
All right.
It's kind
Red
of a rare...
Threat. Never heard
kind
of this
a rare
pedal.
It has a
Did they
little,
have any other pedals?
Yes, they made several. The Red Threat seems to be their most popular one. Good luck if you can find it. The body is Red Threat, but it's basically a Russian
By People pedals? People what?
People Factory.
People Factory.
People Factory. It's basically a big muff pie,
Okay.
but with a whole heck of a lot of boost. So it's like a...
that was on your board when you came over to our place.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
a big muff pie on steroids. I mean,
Okay.
it's just powerful. Slightly noisy when you...
It's got a big hammer and sickle on the front.
It's got a big hammer and
You got
sickle.
a piece of tape on that
Red
these
Threat.
days?
So
Or?
I guess that would be... I don't know. Any of the superpowers that
Yeah.
promote that.
I got some
stuff.
spray paint if you need it.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's a fuzz, but it's really more like something that makes your P90s just sound fat and
Delicious. I dig it.
delicious. So I have one of those.
Okay.
Next pedal in line is a Cyborg by Rare Buzz, Mr. John Esterly.
Yeah.
And the Cyborg was named after the Ukrainian soldiers that in the Eastern Ukraine wars fought off the invaders at the Donetsk International Airport. And they held out for like a year or something ridiculous.
Now, do you put those pedals side by side?
I have the Cyborg first from the guitar and then Cyborg second.
The Red Threat?
The Red Threat
First.
first, Cyborg second.
Do they get along?
That is kind of funny.
Well,
if you look at that board.
That's actually that was the whole reason I bought the Cyborg was
So clever.
they needed to be represented. I
Yeah.
needed to, but different deal. The Cyborg is more of a tube screamer. To me, it's kind of a tube screamer type
Like a super
pedal. It's a
super
little more
tube screamer,
pointed.
right? Because it's got 4 knobs.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of knobs.
3 knobs
a
and a
level,
switcher.
a gain, and some tone control.
Yeah.
Or turbo. That's what I was thinking. The turbo
it's
screamer.
kinda like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, these two pedals, oddly enough, mimic what I originally started playing back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, which was like an Ibanez SD9, which is like a tube screamer, but it's a sonic distortion.
Yeah.
Very, it's a little bit more metally than but not a metal distortion, but
Right.
a little more gain and
Sure.
crunchiness than a tube screamer, and then just whatever fuzz pedal you could find.
Yeah.
So
Number 3.
number 3 is typically another red threat. Believe it or
What?
not, I put a second red threat in,
Nothing wrong with that.
and I use that as my boost.
Huh. So you just turn the
So I
fuzz
just have
way down.
I just have the volume up, the tone set a little lower, so it
Yeah.
just fattens up and gives me a
Brilliant.
boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hey, thank you,
Yeah.
Jared. I've never. Well, yeah, I met you once, but
I did the same thing with the old green pedals with the tube screamers.
Yeah.
Works like a charm.
yeah. And plus, you have redundancy if one craps out on you in the middle of a show or whatever.
And you have redundancy.
you got another
because
one.
it's
out in the middle
so
of the show.
significant to my sound. I mean, it's
Exactly.
it's me. So
It's like having two pedals that you can use in case one goes out.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So good luck trying to copy my sound because you can't find another one out there because I
Right.
look every day and I'm going to buy every one that ever
Two
pops
red
up.
ones.
So,
You bought the last two in existence. You're good.
and then so last night I tried out a new pedal
Yeah.
because just in case one of those craps out, I would like to have a boost, and I tried out a Royale preamp by Fobstar.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Our
right.
good friend Drew
Nice.
Foppy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have a
it's got
few of those.
And it's just got one button that you step on and one knob to turn, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's a magic pedal.
Yeah, good
It
stuff.
is.
Good stuff. And if I was, playing a more significant gig or, need a little bit something else, I would add a BBE sonic maximizer.
Okay.
And that's mostly to compensate for speaker inefficiencies in delivering the crispness
Yeah.
of all the different frequencies.
Yeah.
So like if you're playing through an old Fender amp, or, like old Utah speakers or something like that, sometimes you don't get the attack that you think you need. Like it's almost like it's the high end is kind of on a delay almost and doesn't. And
You need to
it
turn up
falls
at your
behind.
shows, by the way.
Yeah, it falls behind, and so you don't get the sound of the pick. Hitting the strings. You just kind of
Yeah.
hear this.
No, but
But
for
when you
real,
have-
you need to turn up at your shows. I
know,
I
right.
Tell you, I'm like Billy, turn it up.
And that's why I'm adding this Royale preamp.
Yeah, you'll
because,
cut through.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, I need to cut through all the time.
No, you need a Fender twin like Steve Jones
Oh, jeez.
that he stole from
Nice.
from
Yeah.
David Bowie's band.
Well,
Allegedly.
Johnny Thunders used one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Loud.
cranked all the way with the
Loud.
reverb all the way up. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That was my original amp actually
Ah.
back in the day. Whoa. Actually, the lower wattage version of that.
Okay.
I had a Pro.
Oh, the
Pro
reverb.
reverb.
Yeah, Reverb Pro.
Pro reverb. It's
Pro
it's called
reverb. I have
it's
one
called
of
a
those.
Pro reverb.
Pro reverb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got two 12s, but it's only like 50 watts instead of
Yeah,
100.
but it's still
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's
Hello.
super clean. Yeah, super clean. But yeah, you can crank it and make it sound great.
Mark
So,
DiCenzo's got one of those in his place. Anyways, well, that's cool, Bill. Thanks for sharing that.
that's what I do.
Yeah. And for the record, you're playing with another guitar player as well, who's using a Marshall, typically actually he's using like a Mosrite kind of like a Eastwood
He plays some Mosrites. He plays some Fenders with
humbuckers
and
into a Marshall,
stuff like that
Yeah.
into a Marshall. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's like a
great
2000,
Marshall.
right?
It's 800 JCM 800.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful, crunchy, high-endy sound.
Yeah.
And I actually have a Marshall too, but you can't both occupy that same frequency space. So I typically use either a Univox or an old Sun bass head, 50 watt.
Yeah.
And that gives me enough fat stuff to crank on.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like to hold that low end.
Now, when you were playing with us for that one show, I remember you came to practice and you had a pedal. Was it called a brown bag? No, something brown. It was like it was just like this log of mid that was like sitting there. I was like, oh my god, what is that sound? It was a brown pedal, and I could have sworn it might have been a Dr. Scientist. I could be wrong, but I don't know if you remember what that was.
Boy, I don't know. I tried a few different things.
Yeah, it was just so mid. It was just a big, thick,
just a whole bunch of mid, right?
A whole bunch of mid, and I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of mid, dude." And that was all we could hear in the room, and which made me think. I was like, I need to rethink about my tone, actually, a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was instrumental. I didn't want to go that far,
right?
As a single guitar player,
right?
But it did make me think about that.
Right, sure.
So,
I mean, it all depends on how many, what other guitars you're playing with.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved being in two guitar bands, and just finding that
I've never been in a two-guitar band.
Complementary sounds.
That's kind of weird.
Occupying different frequency bands, backing off when the singer's singing in your, favorite frequency, and then doing all those different magical things.
I think whatever my next one is, it will be a two-guitar. Someday in the future or something.
It's fun. It's good for your brain.
Anyways, well, hey, that's a great foray into learning a little bit more about you. I mean, we'll as time goes on, we learn more and more about each other and everything. But we pulled you in, as we mentioned before. I know you to be a total gear nut. We always talk about gear at the shows. We see each other at the guitar shows. You're like, hey, look what I just got, or oh, look at this thing over here. So I really love your enthusiasm, and legitimately, like I said, I might have said this on the very first show that you were on. You have a personality and a character that is like damn near impossible not to like, and I think that's rare, man. So
I don't like them.
Well, yes, but nobody likes Tony, so it evens out. You're even, Steven. Anyhow,
I'm speechless.
Yeah. So you have been playing for you're well known in the scene here. Like if somebody says Billy Spitfire, like within earshot, somebody's gonna be like, I know that dude. So. Are you a native Colombian?
So I'm from Bucyrus.
Is that what we call ourselves?
We don't call ourselves
Colombians.
Lucky Russ, huh?
Columbus Knights?
Columbusites.
Columbus Knights are a totally different thing.
Well, so I grew up in Bucyrus, went to school at Ohio Northern.
Okay, so that's kind of out
small towns, out in the middle
rural.
of cornfields.
Super
we
rural.
had no exposure to music whatsoever.
Yes.
And what was the annual festival?
The Bratwurst Festival. It was just this weekend. It wrapped up. I'm sorry if you missed it.
Best way to cook a bratwurst is pressure cooker.
Oh, I beg to differ there.
I think we're all
you
gonna
gotta
differ
go on
on
a
that.
really,
There's
really
no
hot,
other way to keep
you
the
gotta go
juices in.
really, really hot grill
Yeah.
on a hot day.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street in downtown Bucyrus. That's the only way to cook a bratwurst.
Actually, I'm gonna say that you get one of the the foil dish pans, fill it up with beer, soak them in that, heat them, kind of like a slow heat, and then
Like a
put it
pressure
on the
cooker.
grill. Hot.
I tell you what, guys. I appreciate your enthusiasm for bratwurst. But Bucyrus is the bratwurst capital of America.
Yeah.
And notice I say bratwurst, not bratwurst.
Yeah.
It's bratwurst.
Tony said bratwurst.
The whole
I've
town
always
is
said
German.
bratwurst.
Okay. It's what we do, and it's
I
made like
noticed that
no
there's
other.
a lot of really good masonry homes there. A lot of nice looking brick homes.
Hey, there are
Cyrus.
even masonry brick buildings that are painted.
But they're not they're not called brick. They're called breck.
Yes.
They're breck
Oh,
buildings.
Yep.
They have murals of other buildings on their brick buildings.
Breck buildings.
All right,
That's
back
right.
to your
It's
sausage.
It's all about nostalgia.
Back to your
They have
sausage.
the
not-
Pepsi channel.
More about your sausage,
Yeah,
Billy.
yeah. I love you all back in Bucyrus, but it's not a
Bucky
whole lot
Russ.
there anymore. Let's see. So anyway, I
stoplights
grew
are
up in
still there.
Bucyrus. Yeah, yeah,
Jared.
you have been there.
Yeah, okay, anyways.
I love it.
Dude, I drove through there for years.
Jared.
It's halfway between Columbus and Lake
Sorry.
Erie. Yeah.
All right.
So I
All
lived
right.
right
No more
off
saying-
of
Billy,
Route 4.
please.
So
Please
anyway,
continue.
I was a trumpet player. My best friend and I were trumpet players in the band. I quit the band. We had our own big band for a couple years. Anyway, one day he shows up at school wearing a white shirt and a black skinny tie, and I go, "Oh, like the Blues Brothers." He goes, "You know the Blues Brothers? Yeah, the movie. I just saw the movie." And he goes, "There's a movie?" And I go, "How do you know about the Blues Brothers?" He goes, I read the book. And I go, "There's a book?" And then, that was the magic that took place in discovering music outside of the world of basically
School bands.
I mean, we had hillbilly rock there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a small town. We had one radio station and not a whole lot of exposure besides the cutout section at Kmart.
Right.
And that was it. So
Can you explain that to some listeners who may not know what a cutout was?
Okay. So a cutout
Or Kmart.
Yeah.
Or Kmart.
Kmart is like the predecessor to Walmart, kind of the same concept. An everything store.
Half the size.
Their record department had records that were the last printings, the final runs, and so the quality was not great, or maybe the records didn't sell.
And they're called cutouts
because they would take the whole box of records and they would just take a box cutter thing and just slice the
Make
edge.
a slice. Not into the record, but
Not into the record, but into the
cover.
corner. Into the corner of the cover.
I have a few of those.
So then you would get the record for, a third of the price that you would pay for a new.
Yeah.
And so, we just explored. We went down the wormhole of exploring all the different blues bands that the Blues Brothers covered and discovered, Taj Mahal and, just so many artists. And then, so we each went off to college. He went and discovered bass guitar. I went and discovered electric guitar. Bought my first guitar at a garage sale.
What was it?
It was a Norma. A Norma.
Okay.
And the pickguard. So if I would have known you then, Tony.
If only.
The pickguard fell all apart. I had no way to repair it. I taped it all up, but that only held for so long. And then ended up combining it with some Tiesco body. My dad helped me put it together.
We say
and we made
Tasco on the show.
Ooh, Tiesco. Maybe it was a Harmony. Who knows? I don't know what it was. But we made a Frankenstein guitar, and that was my first guitar. And then after that, I soon got a Fender Stratocaster, 72. Still have it.
Nice. What
Yeah.
color?
Wow.
It's well, it would have been like they're white, but the varnish, faded. And
Yellow.
so it's yellow.
Yeah.
So it looked like a banana.
Yeah. That's
just
cool.
Just like Yingwei plays, So, with the big headstock, oversized headstock, 72. Yeah. So anyway, then my buddy and I started our own rock band, and we played the Bratwurst Festival and all that stuff. Bratwurst, up and down the street. People love to eat delicious bratwurst everywhere you go.
All right.
So that, and then I moved to Columbus one summer for a summer job. Was living on 4th Street. Decided one night to walk down to Summit Street, see what was going on. Stumbled into Ruby Tuesdays. Saw Ronald Cole and
wow.
Chillionaires
So you've been playing there a
playing.
long time.
Yeah, I saw Ronald Cole playing. And I was like, who's this guy that, looks like David Bowie and sings like Iggy Pop, and his band is killer, And they wrapped up their show. I stumbled on down the high street, walked into the VIP lounge, Apollo's VIP lounge. Willie Phoenix is up dancing on a table, singing like Bruce Springsteen, playing guitar like Jimi Hendrix. I was just like, oh my God, I was hooked.
You're in heaven.
So that was,
Midwest heaven.
that's the moment I fell in love with Columbus right there.
That's awesome.
So,
What year about?
that would have been summer of '84.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was going to say 82. I was kind of close-ish.
Summer of '84.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I moved down here permanently the next year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was in some, I actually played bass in a punk band called Malaria with Carrie and Carol Downing. That was fun. We played at Apollo's.
You had a good run with that one, huh?
Hey, we got to play at, what was the place down there on High, the South End? Bruce Nutt was always down there. Crazy Mamas.
Oh my God, I forgot about Crazy Mamas.
Yeah. We did that whole thing. Yeah. Got my
Bars
feet wet with that.
had so much better names back then. Like, for real.
Yeah, and then I somehow I hooked up. I was living North Campus, and walked into Stashes, saw the Vents playing. Kathy Lipinski, great singer, had a voice kind of between Chrissy Hine and Linda Ronstadt. Playing kind of retro style stuff. I talked my way into that band playing lead guitar, and then we actually won the record company showcase when they had it down at the Newport.
Wow.
So,
that's
which
one
is
of
a
the
great
bigger
room to
venues here.
play.
Oh,
Oh, my
that's
God.
incredible.
I
saw
playing.
Johnny Marr play there, and Joy Formidable played there. I saw them play there. Trying to think of who else. That's it. I mean, Johnny Marr is like,
yeah, it's a great
kind
room.
of a big deal.
Great room.
You want to know who I saw there?
Who?
I saw Todd Rundgren.
Oh, okay.
I saw the Ramones.
Whoa.
Wow.
I saw PIL. Johnny Lydon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there were that I've seen so many really good shows down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as many these days.
Well, not so much, but the floors are still as sticky.
Yeah. Yeah. I love. Anyways, so let's talk
Probably
about
the same.
I saw the
stick that was
Violent
then.
Femmes there.
Nice.
Let's talk about your gear, because that's
Talk about my gear,
That's
okay.
what you're a gear nut
Music
and
gear.
you're a painter. So we'll get
Music
into
gear
that in a little
painter,
bit. Yeah.
So my gear, I mean, I'm kind of a freak about getting different guitars. Like I said, I got my first guitar at a garage sale. So for years, I was picking up stray dogs, stray cats. I was picking up any guitar I could find and fixing it up. I thought that was the coolest thing. Mm-hmm. One of the first ones was a Telecaster. Kind of it morphed. Replaced the neck, replaced the pickups, replaced the pick guard, cut my own pick guard. All kinds of things like that.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know. Not anymore. Not anymore. Built guitars. Bill Foley came out with his book, How to Build Your Own Guitar.
Yeah.
Bought some Schecter pieces and parts and, Canadian-made bodies and necks and fused them together and sold a lot of cool, real vintage guitars so that I could buy parts to build my own guitars.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
In retrospect. Yeah.
What's a few $1,000s? Huh? Anyway, so my gear right now, my main guitar is a DePinto made by Chris DePinto in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's our guy over there.
Oh, nice. It's a Belvedere. It's kind of like a Junior. It's a single cutaway. It's a mahogany body, just
That's single
flat top,
single pickup.
single pickup, single
Yeah.
P90.
You just put a Duesenberg trem on
It just
that,
has
right?
a volume and a tone, and I put a Duesenberg trem on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's
man,
like
I love
kinda
that thing.
Alpine white, right?
Alpine white, yeah. And it's kind of cool because so if I could be anybody in the world, it would be Joan Jett, right?
Okay, well, I mean that.
And I
has
always
some
loved the way
complications,
she
but-
looked. Well, yeah, and for many reasons. I mean, I love Joan.
Yeah.
And I always loved the way she looked holding that melody maker.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Her white double horn,
Yeah.
long body melody maker, which on her looks humongous, right? Covers her up. A melody maker on me.
That's a 60.
It still looks
68
good.
is the long body. 65. 65.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's
why I have these
got
guys.
4
Keep
of
me
those
straight.
things, huh?
I know you.
Yeah. Which I did play at the last show too. So, but the Belvedere, the Pinto Belvedere kind of gives you that same vibe, but it's bigger.
Yeah.
It's bigger, so it hides my, my Bucyrus hips, my German hips a little bit better. So if I'm ever playing the Lederhosen,
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever do, but if nobody would know it, because that guitar would
German
cover it
hips.
up.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my main guitar. I've got several other, I've got a Hallmark made by Bob Shade, related to the Mosrite line.
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know. You want me to name them? Oh, I have a list. People ask me how many guitars I have, and I say I don't know. And I could count them on my list, but I don't. But it's roughly the same number of guitars as I have bottles of tequila, which is into the triple digits now.
Yeah, yeah.
And also pairs of cowboy boots.
Interesting.
So I don't know which I have more of. But
So
they're not all located in one location. So thieves and robbers.
You favor white guitars.
Wipe that out of your head. Okay.
Is that just a recent thing, or is that always been your thing?
With the white guitars?
Yeah.
Oh, I play them with mathematics because our shtick is we all wear black with white belts, white ties, white shoes.
Yeah.
So it matches our outfits.
Yeah.
And then our singer wears a princess dress.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you throw a little pink,
yeah.
highlights here and there,
Sure.
it's, it goes with it.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the whole impetus for that. But I got the Belvedere years ago. I got it from Swamp Dogs.
Oh,
Russ, remember
yeah,
Russ
yeah.
Volk on High Street.
So
Stuff high, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is one of the guitars that is kind of like maybe, buried in the back room that when you're walking by there, it's like, Billy.
Yeah. Whispering Guitars would probably be the one that I assembled in my Frankenstein fusion days.
Okay.
Huh.
It's a Telecaster. I got the body from a shop down on Broad Street, in the North Hilltop area, from a place called. It was right across the street from a place called Ray's. Ray had he was a Shure dealer,
Ah.
and I was looking for the bass of the Elvis microphone, the '50s Elvis mic.
I have one of those.
Yeah, and then there's a screw-on, metal thing cap that you screwed onto the mic stand, and then the
Yeah.
the mic would fit over top of that thing. Had a little
Yeah.
little button.
Yeah, anyways,
yeah. So anyway, I went there
Moving
looking
along,
for that.
son.
Moving right along. I found this double-bound telly body. It was black.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I gotta build a Telecaster with that, and so I did. And ultimately, I played that guitar in the Vents, but first I had Well, I won't explain all the different variations I had in that, but it was really cool. Right now, it has an original Gibson PAF in it.
Okay.
It's,
Nice.
Yeah. So, sounds amazing in the neck position, and then,
maple fingerboard or
maple fingerboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has right now. It has. I ended up taking the neck from a 1985 reissue Telecaster made in Japan.
Oh.
It's a maple fingerboard from maple neck from
That's
one of those
cool.
guitars. So anyway, that thing speaks to me.
Yeah.
And it's got great tone, and
You have to bring that out to one of the shows there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to get played.
Yeah. I could play that.
You should.
I could play that.
You should.
Yeah.
You will. All right, cool. How about where do you sit as far as amps go?
Amps. Okay. So 50-watt Univox, 50-watt Sun bass head. I have a couple Marshalls from
Yeah.
the 70s.
But you're favoring like at the shows.
Oh, it's
you're-
kind of like the 50-watt. I'm kind of into the 50-watt tube thing right now.
Yeah.
I have, I started out on Fenders, had a Pro Reverb.
So
I have some fabulous. I have probably the best sounding amp I have. I have two of them now. They're the Bandmaster Reverb from the 70s. One has the silver drip leg around the grill cloth. And the best setup is with a 215 cabinet. And man, you want to hear some surf? Like when I play in a surf band called the Bastard Sons of Neptune, and in that band I play bass, but one of the guitar players, Matt Mikowski, comes over and plays through that amp. And yeah, I mean, it's the voice of God and thunder,
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Reverb and
Nice.
vibrato, and yeah,
Awesome.
It's just got it. It's got it.
So, of the things that you've gotten rid of, is there one, if you could just go magic reset button, what would that be?
Ooh. Yeah, and I've searched to find some of these things again, and it's hard. One of them would be a '74 black Fender Bronco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a single pickup guitar, but it had a very unique tremolo on it.
Yep.
And I don't know what it was about it. It was just, it had a cool sound.
Yeah.
It was just, and I've tried to assemble one from parts, and you can't find them whole anymore.
Yeah.
And that would be one.
Okay.
Another one, probably the biggest one though, was a. Kills me to say this. Kills me to say this. It would have been about a 1968 Fender Jazzmaster.
Oh, boy.
It was the custom one with black tortoiseshell pickguard and binding on the neck. Oversized headstock.
Block inlays.
Block inlays. It was so cool.
Now, why did you get rid of that?
Okay, so here's the story. Well, it was mostly to fund building the black Telecaster I was telling you about. But the reason I sold it was the nut was broken on it. I couldn't find anybody in town that knew how to fix it. I don't know why nobody seemed to do that kind of thing back then. It had tuners that were kind of ganky. It had, it was a little bit hissy, noisy. The pots were probably dirty. It was a Jazzmaster, so the bridge was, kind of, all the pole pieces and stuff were rusty and jiggling around, and so it was slightly unreliable, but man, that thing sounded cool. So I don't know.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, I got rid of it because I didn't know how to fix it, and then ever since then I've been on a quest to understand how to fix things on my own, and now that I've figured all that out, I have somebody else do it because I don't like turning a screwdriver that often. I'm like, I have to save these wrists for better things.
Sure. Well, anyways. So, yeah.
And painting.
Yeah. Paint,
So,
yes.
yeah.
Well, that's a whole other thing
Yeah.
that'll evolve. We'll get into. The last question that I've got for you is, if you could have just any piece of gear right now that you don't currently have, excluding, what would it be?
You put me on the spot here.
Yes. First thing that came to your mind. A bratwurst of stuff in Tony's face.
Boy. You mentioned a White Falcon before. If I could have a nice lightweight White Falcon, that would be cool. I have yet to find a lightweight one. I know they're out there.
Yeah.
Like a nice old.
Well, and
that would be way cool.
For the listeners' edification, you had a pretty serious back surgery recently.
I had a pretty serious back surgery. About a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just now, getting back to having my dancing.
You
feet,
looked like crap for a long time. I mean, I'm just
thank you. Yeah, I know.
It was hard. It was sad. It was like it was
sad.
hard to see you like that.
It was sad. I was like, I was dragging my left leg. I couldn't make it move on its own.
Yeah. You had to wear this crazy belt thing up on stage with it was nuts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you were like sweaty
That's
and bloated from like pain pills and stuff, and it was like,
Elvis circa 74.
Well, I do still have a drug bag that I carry around with me, but but yeah, thank you.
You look like Tales from the Crypt guy up there, man.
Well, and when you're in that situation, you don't even realize what poor shape you're in until you get better, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, I forgot what it felt like to feel, good or normal or whatever it is, and it's just, it's almost like euphoric. Like just this week, I was able to straighten my leg out all the way on its own by myself.
That's amazing.
So anyway, I had bad stenosis of the nerve that was going down my left leg, and I couldn't move my leg. So
well, for what it's worth, I know that everybody out there that was has been watching you and knows you was just like aching for you, man. Like honestly, because like we knew you were just in really, really bad shape. But anyways, enough about that. So White Falcon, check mark. Billy, it's been good learning a little bit about you. More and more to come for sure down the road. Hope everybody has a general understanding, so when they hear him, they're like, who is this dude? Well, that's what he's, kind of all up and about and into and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, anyway, I did want to say, though.
Yeah?
First, I discovered the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Then I discovered the Clash. And it's kind of the melding of those two inspirations that have led to, my foray into punk.
Yeah.
And, but keeping my interest in lots of other types of music. So
it's a solid foundation.
Playing a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I have one sentimental story I'd like to share with you.
Sure.
On Bucyrus. My mother still lives in Bucyrus, just north of town. And I found out for the first time just a couple of weeks ago that long ago, so my I had one grandmother who was a church organist. I had another grandmother who was a good singer, and my mom played piano, my dad sang, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, my mom's mom back in the 20s, the Roaring 20s. She was a good enough singer that she ended up, her and her best friend from high school would go to different towns and sing on the live radio shows.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
That's pretty awesome.
I did not know
They didn't have TVs before that either, so that's what everybody did was listen to the radio.
Did they sing that old timey music?
Yeah, like Maresy dotes and dozy dotes, little lambs at ivy, kiddly divey too. Well, that was 40s. 20s. What did they sing in the 20s? I don't know.
Even way before that.
Yeah. Way before that. Way before that.
Driving me crazy. Anyways, all right. We're gonna take a little trip down to Jared's house in the El Camino.
Ooh.
That's right, man. And I am looking forward to seeing everyone so I can sing you a little song. That goes like this. Would you rather ladies and gentlemen, this week for our Would You Rather, we're going to have the choice between venues where we're going to play. And of course, as always, gear is involved. But
okay. Good.
Since yeah, but also food. So you're walking down the street.
Gear is specific to specific rooms. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes all the
right.
difference.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
And
you gotta
the
know
food.
where you're playing.
And
know
the
what
food.
to and the food, yeah.
So check this out. You're walking down the street, and the genie comes
Wait, that's not
out
how.
of the...
What are you doing? You're doing what?
They're walking down the street.
There you go.
The genie comes out of the spittoon, and he's like, "Hey, man, you got to do 1 or 2 gigs here. You got a choice. You can do the Brat Festival in Bucyrus, Ohio, other known as Bucky Russ, up Route 4 or 98, whatever. And the thing is, you have unlimited brats and beer, but you have to do the whole Hard Rock gig with an Ovation celebrity."
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Celebrity.
And it's got to be at least medium-sized strings. So fingers are going to be bleeding after that one.
Okay.
Or you get to do the Sweet Corn Festival in Millersport, Ohio, which is something I really miss going to. And you get your choice of a nice 50s Les Paul and a Marshall and all the good stuff, a Klon, whatever you want to, any pedal you want to play through. But you get no water, and you only get a sip of apple cider, and no beer, no brats, no food, and you don't even get
corn?
any of this sweet corn.
No sweet
No
corn.
sweet corn. And you're paid in copper pennies. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that is certainly a unique would you rather that I could only imagine is dreamed up by Jared.
That's right.
So let's see here, Tony. So, and just for the sake, tell everybody what the Ovation celebrity is, Tony, or Jared. Go ahead. Yes.
No, Tony.
No,
can't. I
Jared.
like
Jared,
Tony.
you go ahead.
So
no,
Jared.
Tony, you do.
no, you do it.
Jared.
So I have one here. It's the Ovation was made in the 70s, and you can get a deep bowl or a shallow bowl, and the celebrity was kind of an upper level, and it's got now I need Tony to explain whatever the material used.
All right, Tony,
So
finish him up.
it's
there.
actually
No,
Talking about an acoustic.
it's an acoustic electric.
Okay. Not
So
the
like
solid.
it was
The Richie
originally
Sambora nonsense.
no, it was originally developed. Glenn Campbell was one of the first adopters of it.
Yes.
The back of the guitar, the body, is actually made from the same material that is used on helicopter blades because
yeah.
Kaman
Is it Kevlar?
Kaman Industries that made helicopters. They offshot into the Ovation guitars. So it's a
Okay.
very strong material, very lightweight, but it's bowl shaped. And originally the thought was that the sound waves, whatever, would bounce off the back and reflect out through the sound hole, providing better. I don't believe that to be the case, but what they did do really well is they made the first mass-produced acoustic electric. So they had a pickup system built into them, which is why a lot of professional touring musicians like Glenn Campbell and others use them because they were a great live guitar.
Yeah, that's a
logo
great
is
grill.
fantastic.
Those you can grill on those things, right? They're round.
You
on the
can
bottom.
grill bratwurst on them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Those are
Pressure cook
the
them
most useless guitars to play standing up or sitting down. That's what I can't understand.
They just flip.
They
Yeah.
flip. It's like what was the how How did anybody actually go out and buy these? I honestly
A lot
don't
of people
understand.
did.
I know, but I don't understand because
I have
if you
video
put
of
it,
my
it just
dad
goes
playing
whoop.
one in the
It goes right
80s.
out from under you, no matter
Yeah.
what you do.
That's true. Unless you're good and sweaty.
Or you have a stand like Poison or Bon Jovi or something like that.
Yeah.
What's more than that, it sounds like plastic too.
Yes, it does.
But
I don't
Yep.
get it. I've never understood that. And they've got so
Free
many
beer
models of
and
it.
free
But,
brats.
anyways, okay, so that's what it is, ladies.
All
and
right.
gentlemen.
we just knocked that
Okay.
guitar.
Okay, yeah, but I know we know what Jared's going to do. So
I
Tony,
like
go
my
ahead.
Ovation.
Well, you know, Todd, what they say about corn.
No,
It goes in corn, it comes out corn.
that's
So no real loss there.
okay,
The same cannot be said for bratwurst.
right?
I love a good bratwurst, and I would suffer through playing through an Ovation Celebrity, watching it flip after every time I touch the strings, just to be able to have as much of delicious grilled bratwurst as possible.
Okay,
That's what I'm going.
all right, Bill.
It's not fair at all. Not fair at all.
I know.
Because
I did this for you, by the way. This is compliments.
man. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're either gonna be
so
a
for those
Bucyrus
of you
heretic.
who don't know Millersport, that's near Buckeye Lake, and
That's
right?
a good festival too.
You know, and I love corn. I love corn, Tony. I love
I know.
corn. My brothers and I used to have corn eating contests about this time of year.
I wouldn't
Yes.
want to be around you the next day.
Yeah. Well, hey man,
Yellow poo.
I think the record was my brother Larry ate 21 ears.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh, I could beat that.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Yes.
Yeah, good. You're good.
What's it going to be, boy?
Celebrity.
Yes or no?
Oh, jeez.
Les Paul.
You know what? I drink a gallon of water a day. The Millersport gig would kill me. If I got paid in pennies, I'd have to have somebody else carry them home because my back is still not quite that strong. But
With a Les
50s
Paul.
Les Paul, yeah, I'm all on it. Millersport, there it is.
There you go. All right, Jared.
Yeah, I don't know. I made one that is hard for me to decide because I love my Les Pauls. I love my little tiny sip of apple cider to get me through the gig. But I'm going to have to just suffer through with the Ovation because Bucyrus is a beautiful town, minus the billion stoplights you have to go through. However, I've played my dad's Ovation my whole life. I'm used to it. I can do it. Definitely the Bucyrus Bratwurst Festival.
Okay.
Todd.
You're up, Todd.
Well,
Let
I'm
me
definitely-
sleep on it.
I'm definitely going to Millersport. There's no way I'm playing that Ovation. There's absolutely no way I'm not doing it. And I don't eat meat, so
Screw beer.
that's easy for me.
I did own 2 of those things at one time.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I still play my dad's every day. I got it right next to his desk.
Nice.
That was his desk. So it's kind of a sentimental thing, but I'll pick it up and play it.
Oh,
But
well,
my
that's
other guitars sound way better, for sure.
Thank you for that. Would you rather, Monsieur Jared? All right, Tony Bolonsky has got some people to thank here.
That's right.
You know, Todd, that is correct. I would like, and we all like to thank a very special group of people. These are our executive producers. Now, you might be wondering, what is an executive producer? Well, as an executive producer, you are a patron, a sponsor of this very podcast. And without your help, the podcast just would not exist.
No.
How do you become an executive producer? Very simple. Head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor, a patron of the podcast. Each level comes with some great thank you gifts. And I'm told, as an executive producer, there's one thing more. Jared, what is that?
Get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing, and that's
Right.
what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Moon Guitars, Vader Pedals, Drew Lopez, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D, Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, Matt Hart, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Gemalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ.
Doug Christ.
I'm mixing the names up here. Darren Gregory, John Anglin, Tom Brazen, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hammer, Stuart George, and new this week, Michael Furman.
Hey,
welcome aboard.
Welcome, Michael Furman.
Hey, but wait. You know, Todd, you told me that there's another level. Is there? Is there another level of executive producer?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a Grand Poobah.
The Grand Poobahs. Yes.
That's right.
These very special executive producers have a very special suite sitting at the top of a tower out in the country, where they can observe the mere mortals below them whilst drinking a nice orange liquid and wearing their fez and listening, of course, to the Guitar Knobs podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs: Tommy Manescu, Ricardo Igreda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups,
That's
Hex
right.
Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robison, Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. Eddie Serratos, and David Poe. Thank you.
Indeed. Could not do this without you. We truly appreciate it. And we're just so grateful for you. And we got more cool stuff coming your guys' way. We just gave away 2 pedals, working on some other stuff, and more stuff. I'm just going to keep saying stuff.
There's going to be something very special coming from Picardian very soon.
Oh, excellent.
I'm teasing. You don't even know what it is.
I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, you're going to be so happy.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody. We need to find out, Tony, where can people find your stuff?
Just go over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I have available for sale. But I do a lot more custom work. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you're trying to do. I will make something very special just for you.
Awesome. Billy, how about yourself?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Billy Spitfire, and Billy Spitfire Unlimited. I play with local punk band Mathematics, local surf band The Bastard Sons
The
of
Mathematics
Neptune.
on Spotify.
The Mathematics on Spotify. It's capital M-E-T-H, capital M-A-T-I-C-S.
Yeah, there's like another Mathematics out
There's
there.
another Mathematics in Baltimore,
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah.
And,
We should go break their legs?
Jeez, it's kind of heavy. Hey, Jared, where can people find you?
Jared.allen.brandon on Instagram.
Right.
Send me a
on.
message and we'll talk about stuff.
Perfecto. You can shoot me an email, Todd at theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram at guitarknobs. Would love to hear from you. Would love to get your would you rathers. And if you have any questions, comments, etc., or just want to say, hey guys, like the show, we'd love to hear from you. Have a fantastic guitar week out there, everybody, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Boom.
this interview, I'm going to loosen my belt buckle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like an extra large carrot cake with extra icing on the top. Little bit of fun, never been an insurrection.
I'm a professional paella maker.
And away we go. And
Fried up in a pan.
and then add some.
Okay.
Let me in.
Okay, I'll clap you in. Shut it, Tony.
Go and
Natology.
you're out of the band.
It's get to know me night.
You're out of the band.
It's get to know me night.
You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a Victory. Remember the Victory series?
Victory. As Glenda, she had a baby. Ooh-wee.
Who's looking out the street of the city, smiling at everybody she meets?
Oh, the sounds don't work.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
For my next act. Come on.
All right.
Tony. You bastard.
No.
Anyway, I might have a little gas.
Bring back my Bonnie to me.
Bring back,
oh, bring back my Bonnie to me.
Chicken and what else did I? Burgers. It tastes really good too. Burgers. I
have a haunted basement. And you said, dude, what guitar speaks to me? I'm like, how do you know these things?
You know what they say.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
Right on.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Indeed.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're better if you deep fry.
Listen,
them.
I had this
batter
argument
fry.
with my
No,
wife.
here's what you do.
Let me
Here's
think
what
about
I
it.
had this
You got to
argument
Put them
with
on the
my
hot
wife.
grill. You put them on the hot grill. You don't poke holes in them or anything. You don't soak them. You let them burst open while they're on the hot grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you. And then
What
you,
about the
then,
juice?
Oh, the juice is hotter than hell, and it burns your lips and tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need to keep the juice in the broth and the brat, though, right? You need to keep the juice in the broth.
Well, but you'd be surprised how much juice is in there. I mean, you don't
You don't need all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you take it off when it bursts. That's how you know it's done. When it bursts,
Yeah.
that's when you put it on a. You put on a rye bun.
Yeah.
You have to have a rye bun. You have to, sauerkraut is preferred.
Mm-hmm. Brown
Various
mustard.
mustards, Yeah.
Yeah, I like multiple. I am a multiple mustard fan.
Yeah.
I like.
You can even throw a little pickle relish on there,
The best bratwurst I ever had was in Bonn, Germany. They were having this giant street festival. And when in Germany, it's like probably twice the size of an American brat, but it comes on this little pretzel roll. And the pretzel roll is just there to hold for your hands not to get burnt, but it also absorbs the juice that comes out of it.
Yeah.
And it is, I was like in heaven. I'm walking around downtown Bonn holding this sausage, and it was, oh my God, it was so good.
See, my favorite. My mouth is actually watering a little bit right now. We had a place called German Village. Different than this German Village.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And I'm pretty sure it was called. It was German Village. And that's what they would do, like the Oktoberfest, and they would have, year round, they'd have like shops open and everybody in restaurants and stuff. But there was one place that had currywurst. Oh my God. I'd never had anything like that. And I tried to recreate it many times, and I didn't know how. And if you ever have the chance to have a currywurst, that is like gold. It's gold in your mouth. It's incredible.
Nice.
On this week's
It
worst.
just explode inside.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
can
so.
see that, Jared. Okay.
I think you're wrong, Jared.
And when we all
You can't-
four get
yeah, I mean,
together,
you
we're
could-
gonna have brats.
Yeah, we'll each prepare them. Yeah,
Our own way.
We'll have
I'll
then
bring
we'll
the little
blind
tiny
taste test.
pretzel rolls.
And the gummies.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
do this.
Okay,
Let's do
clap
this.
me
Here
back
we
in.
go. Some really cool looking ones.
Can we get this thing started? I don't have all night, you know.
Yes, I know.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.